So when we were in Norway, I played one of the Tile Tuesdays, right? On the rest
Yes.
day or
Yes.
rest day.
Yes, I do too.
And do you
Yeah.
remember the first game, or I'm not gonna say the first game. One of the games, um, I played a guy who I was like convinced was cheating. You remember that game, right?
Of course.
Yeah. And I was also like, you were also kind of convinced, right? Um, and the game was a draw, but the guy was crushing me, and I felt really weird during the game too. And I'm still like, I would bet money that when I have this weird feeling that it does end up being correct. But still, this account has not been closed since then.
I want to say also because towards the end of the game, the position was winning for him, but he didn't have enough time, and he was still taking as much time, those few seconds in between moves, that he usually.
It sounds suspiciously familiar to like many games I've been played online. It's where yeah, it's like the spot where yeah, it's like a couple of it's a couple of like couple of moves. It's just like, you know, you keep thinking for a few seconds. I'm gonna find the game in a second, by the way. Yeah, it's like he's winning the game, but he's moving slowly. Why does it sound so familiar to me? It sounds so familiar.
It takes during the actual game as well. So if you draw those games all the way until the move 60 and all the way until the last few seconds, it feels like the accuracy,
I'll find the game in a second.
Decreases significantly.
Yeah,
which is kind of a sign. Like it's always a sign that something fishy is happening.
Yeah, but on the other hand, people always like play worse with low time. But he was playing like consistently 5 seconds a move.
He had the cadence, yeah, the cadence of the moves.
He was playing, yeah, each move the exact amount of time, and then playing the first line of the computer, and every once in a while the second line of the computer, and then just crushing me. And then suddenly he gets low on time.
Yeah, gets low on time, blunders,
and I escape.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, like after that game, he just started to lose all his games. So why would you cheat against me and then lose all your games? I had the same feeling yesterday that I played someone who was cheating, and then after he plays me, like he crushes me, playing first line pretty much the entire game, and then suddenly he loses all his games. So I'm like, okay, well, yeah, maybe he just had a good game. Maybe it was just a lucky game, and then he played like he normally does after that. But I don't know, because on the other hand, do people is luck enough to play the first line of an engine for 20 straight moves for a player?
By the way, I love this look on Christian's face is so good here. By the way, this look on Christian's face is priceless.
Obviously, 99 times out of 100 would not do this. Like, can that happen 1 out of 100 times that they can follow the first line for 20 moves in complex position?
The answer is probably no, by the way.
If it can happen 1 out of 100 times, then obviously we can't.
I think the answer is no, by the way, to be clear.
From one game. But if it can't even happen 1 out of 100 times, then yeah, it's probably a sign of cheating, right?
That is a very good question, and perhaps
we'll get to the game in a second, you guys. I have the game.
Inching closer to the end of the show, we should ask our viewers to comment in the comment section and tell us what they think about this. So yeah, tell us what you think, whether you think this is normal or not.
Yeah, I was also thinking, like, is it arrogance? Because if I play 20 first line moves in a row, I'm like, okay, it happens.
Yeah, but I mean, but the thing is, this is Fabiano Caruana, one of the greatest players of all time. There's a slight difference between Fabiano and like and some FM. There's a huge difference.
Maybe it's arrogance on my side to assume that other people can't also play very accurately.
Difficult and lingering questions of a professional chess lifestyle. Yeah, well, Fabi, I think it's a good place to leave it at. And what should we tell our viewers? There's
all right, let's move on, you guys. So let's move on. Let's get to the game in question, which is what everybody wants to see. This is what everyone wants to see. So let me change the scene and let's get to the game in question. All right, here we go. The game in question. This is the game from June 6th. This is a Title Tuesday that I played in as well. Let's take a look at this game. So what do we have? Oh, by the way, the timestamps do show here. So we get e4, b6. We get knight c3, bishop b7, d4, e6, bishop d3, knight f6. Okay, all pretty normal so far. ed5 takes castles, looks fine. Looks fine. Queen g4 already like a very bold move. Not like a nothing going on, but it's a bold attacking move. So this sort of gives me some idea of like the style. This guy's like a very tactical, aggressive player. Okay, so we get queen g4, g6. Okay, bishop g5, bishop b7, trade. Okay, d5, another strong move. All right, we have d5 played here. We have e5 played by Fabiano. Now, okay, now this is the first interesting thing looking at this game. I don't have lines on, so let me turn the lines on. Actually, no, let me not turn the lines on because this gives me better objectivity without the lines on. D5 is it's a strong move, but I mean, it's not so much about that. Basically, here's what would happen. I'll tell you what would happen if I was playing this game with a black piece. Here's what I would say, whether it's like over the board or online. What I would say in this position is quite simple. I'm pretty sure that white is significantly better. Now, I don't know if it's like 0.5 or more. Actually, it's 0.6. Okay, but I was gonna say, like, it feels like white's better. It's probably like a 0.5-ish advantage where, like, if you play all the best moves, you're gonna prove that you have a good advantage. But if you make even one wrong move here, it's gonna turn around and Fabiano is gonna win this game. And the reason that I say that is because when you get to a position like this, let's say white goes rook e1 and you get to play like f5, queen d1, and knight d7. Now suddenly the pawn structure is actually quite decent for black, where the pawns on e5 and f5. So it's gonna be, every single move is gonna be pinpoint spot on to prove the advantage here. So what do we get? We got bishop b5. Okay, doesn't seem insane. I mean, checks the king here. Fabiano here plays king f8, which is interesting. I'm curious why he didn't play knight d7 here. I mean, maybe he was worried about like rook e1 and like queen a4 or something like this. I'm not sure. But I do find it peculiar that Fabiano did not play knight d7. It's very peculiar to me that he played king f8, but maybe Fabiano felt like it's the opposite also. He can just go like, at some point he's going to play like a6, kick the bishop away, then he finishes the development. He still is going to get some f5, and probably this is what he felt was best. Okay, king f8, you get f4. Whew. Strong move, strong move, a strong move. Jeez, which is a strong move. We got a6, bishop a4. Okay, bishop a4. Okay, fine. I mean, b5, bishop b3, knight d7, rook a e1, and Fabiano plays e4 here. Okay, interesting choice. We get f5, another wowzer move. Is f5 the best move here? Oh wow, f5 is just cleanly the best move here. Jeez, wow. Yeah, because f5 is a strong move. F5 is a strong move. Knight f6, queen h4, rook g8, knight e4. Interesting choice. I mean, not the end of the world, but I mean, like, if I were playing here, I would almost certainly take and go knight e4 like this, just because now you have the open f file, and just thematically this position looks like it should be winning somehow. Some d6 or like rook f4, some d6 down the road. So thematically fg6 looks correct. Knight e4, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's definitely a very strong move. So we get takes, trade, rook e4. Now again, interesting, because see, like, as I'm looking at this position thematically, just looking at this position right here, if I were playing this position, anytime I go for knight e4, I would definitely take and go into this. So, okay, we got this. Look at the times. How do I say the times? The time usage is 7.9 for rook e1. Okay, bishop b5 played in 4.5. Bishop a4 played after 44 seconds. That's an interesting time. Bishop a4 is interesting to use 44 seconds for that. Wow. Okay, f5, 22 seconds to play f5. Yeah, 22 seconds for f5 is also kind of insane, but okay, we got knight f6, queen h4, rook g8. Okay, show goes on. King f8, f6. Okay, so now, I mean, now white's just crushing. I mean, you get rook e7, rook c7, game is over. So how does Fabiano save this? a5, a3. Okay, rook a6, rook e7, takes. Bishop a8, d6. I mean, rook h7 just wins the game. I mean, this is a bit much. Okay, white's still completely winning. What? But actually, you know what's funny? Maybe white's still... No, white's not still winning because you can get rid of the pawns. Yeah, so I mean, so this is the game Fabiano played. This is obviously the game he's referring to. This is a game against Eddie Marsala. Now let's see. You know, one thing that I think has to be said in regards to accounts, I think this has to be said, is that, you know, accounts are not automatically marked as like, you know, violated fair play or things like that. It is a complicated situation. Now, anytime you look at an account and you see that there are no games that have been played since June 6th, this is actually the thing that's a little bit peculiar, is that, again, you know, their accounts where after the game ends, they don't play again. And you're seeing here that June 6th is the last time this account played. Or actually, you can't see that because I'm on the wrong scene, but now you can see it, right? Like, you'll see the last games here were played on June 6th and Title 2, saying no games have been played since June 6th. So, I mean, when Fabiano says that, like, the account might not be marked, but it does look a little bit weird that there have been no games played since then. Just definitely looks a little bit odd. Again, like, it's like the game that he played, it's a really crushing game, by the way, like, crushing game. Fabiano just gets flat out smoked, like, make no mistake about it. Fabiano gets like completely destroyed. Check his losses. I mean, well, I don't know, like, nobody knows what exactly the process is. Like, I know in the past, I think chess.com has had something where, like, the account gets marked, and I think the account doesn't get marked, but then you play on another account or things like that. So, I mean, I don't know exactly what their whole thing is, but it is definitely a little bit odd. Okay, but I mean, he just gets crushed out of move 20. I mean, he's just completely lost with the white piece in 20 moves here. I mean, it's yeah, I mean, this is just a wild game. I don't know what to say, but clearly Fabiano thinks something happened. I mean, there's no doubt in Fabiano's mind. So who knows? Yeah, because of the time usage. Yeah, I mean, who knows? But to be fair, like, in this game he uses like 58 seconds on move number 11. Like, he uses 58 seconds to play rook b1. But yeah, I mean, Fabiano got absolutely steamrolled in the game, and then he blunders at the end, ends in a draw. I mean, I've had that happen a million times to me too, by the way, where it's like, I'm just getting steamrolled in a game, and then at the end, once they get low on time, magically blunders start appearing. So who knows? I mean, Fabiano seems pretty convinced, but I mean, unless chess.com says something, I guess we'll probably never actually know, honestly. So yeah.